go around the room. Let's get 5 or 6 benefits on the wall here. Who's got a benefit? Lael.
All right. It's a cheesy cliche, but being able to be proactive versus reactive, being able to not be caught off guard.
So it provides you the ability to be proactive. How many of you find yourself in the reactive mode when it comes to sales? Right? So most of us. Okay. So great benefit. Benefit number two.
I think it helps define your process. I mean, it helps you to really look at your process and to define it or tweak it if it needs to be.
Okay, I like that. So we can adjust or tweak, right? So tweak our process. I like to think of it in a little different terms, Selena, and that is we can look at the evidence and we can make adjustments that will then improve our performance, right? So those are performance improvement processes. So tweak our process. So, Patrick.
Kind of builds off of number one, but it provides a tool for planning. It could be capacity planning, materials planning, financial planning. It really should provide some insight on what you need to be doing now to plan for 3 weeks from now, to be ready for 3 weeks from now. My old industry, we would have a fair amount of sophistication where we would know how many FTEs or full-time equivalents we would need 6 weeks from now on Tuesday afternoon at 2:30. And if that's different than what we're currently planning for right now, then we would start to change that scheduling, that staffing model to accommodate the new volume forecast.
So a type of capacity planning, right? I mean, there's all levels. You went through them.
Capacity, materials, whatever it may be, right? Recruiting,
Right,
hiring,
right.
training, we just forecasting does everything for you.
It's sort of this being prepared for the future benefit. I saw that pop up. I knew that was a benefit over here. So being prepared provides tools for planning, which is being prepared for the future. How do we do that? I think one of the key factors that I always like to talk about when we talk about forecasting is how do I know when to grow my company? How do I know when to take the steps to grow the company? Great example, right? Peter's measuring levels of work in progress. We're going to talk about that a little bit. He's measuring his pipeline. And these are the tools that he's using to know whether or not it's time to take those steps of growth. Whether it be hiring employees like Peter's doing or buying the needed equipment that we need. Will we have the capital coming into the company to be able to do that ourselves? Or on the other hand, do we need to make sure that our credit lines are in place so that we can weather shortfall in revenue? So planning for the future. Excellent. Great benefit of the forecasting process. Another one. Nevin?
I just had I don't know if it fits in, a systematic approach or a more focused approach. When we do forecasting, we know exactly who we need to target and what kind of probability we have of getting that kind of work from them. And systematized.
So targeted, focused system to improve what?
To avoid kind of like the cash flow problems, you can kind of see that.
Okay.
I can see, and I think Patrick said something.
Cash flow, sales in general. Sales is a little different than cash flow, right? But it's driving, for me, the pipeline, which is really the tool down the line, however we get to that pipeline, there's a couple of different ways we can get to that, and that varies. But ultimately, it's about driving improvement in the business, right? But creating more focus. When we talk about the sales process, whether you're the salesperson or you have a sales team. Now, these are the measurements that we can zero in, focus on, target very specific individuals or product lines, and or we call these sales activities or client activities. And we're going to talk more about that. So, does anybody have anything else? Can anybody think of anything else?
Like
One more.
I'd summarize, really what
Yes.
you're doing is you're trying to minimize performance risk or business risk. That's really what forecasting does.
Minimize.
It could be business risk or failure risk, performance risk.
Business or failure risk. For me, it's about knowing, absolutely knowing where I'm at. We talked about shedding light on, this element of the business, and so that's absolutely what this does. You've got to know where you are.